Hello, Odd Job Doer here, and today's little project we're working on is this right here. You see this? This here is a switch. You have your off vent, high vent, low cool, high cool, and pump only. This is if you ever use evaporative cooling. The thing is, if you have this with a manual, you just basically turn to pump only, get the pump running, then you turn to high cool, and it should have the pump and the high cool running at the same time. Low cool, of course, is pump and low air coming through. High vent is just air coming through, which is, I guess you just want to air out a house. Usually this is when you have it in the hot summer months. Low vent, low air out the house, and off. The problem is, this right here is controlled by that right there. That controls that switch. But actually, the switch should control the whole thing down at the other end of the hall, whereas this here, the thermostat, controls it on and off. The only problem is, when I looked at it first time, because I've always had a little issue with this thing. Basically, when this thing clicks on, as in, it's set to about 85 right now. When it gets down here, down here, I don't know if you can hear it, but right now it's clicked on. You can hear air coming through. The pump might be on. The only problem is that the switch that's supposed to control the swamp cooler, or evaporative coolers they're called, that is on the off position. It's pointed up. So this right here somehow controls it, and who knows if it's controlling the speed down there at the other switch or what. So what we'll be doing, hopefully today, is putting in something different. One of these guys here. This here's a cooler controller, digital thermostat, and it's from the Dial Corporation. Good for 115 and 230 volts. And what this will do for you is basically, you can see the little blue printout. First you have temperature up and down buttons, and you'll have a readout up here. And inside there it's hard to see, but you have basically a setting for low fan, high fan, and fan pump or fan only. So after this gets installed, it'll probably be set to start at the fan pump and low fan. And then have a temperature set up here. And so whenever it gets hotter than that temperature, this would, boom, kick on. It should pre-wet the pad. I believe this thing has a pre-wet to it. So the pads in this evaporative cooler will be wet, and ta-da. It should actually blow cool air into the dwelling. So for now, we'll turn this back up, which is basically turn off the system. And let's see. I guess the first step would be finding which circuit breaker to shut off. Because in this case, we don't really have a real off and on. So we need to find the circuit breaker that controls this whole circuit and make sure it's shut off. And then we'll be back to get into the wiring of the whole thing. Alright, before we get down into this job too much, here's what we got. We got the control box there, see? Open it up, nice panel, shows some switches in there. Now you have the white is your common. This black, the thicker one, here is your power, so the power coming in to the whole system. Then this orange black wire, that's going to go off to your pump. I believe the red is to the low cool part of the motor, and the yellow black is to the high cool part. And if you don't know for sure, this particular unit actually lists all of them on the side. So inputs, and then you got your yellow black is for high fan, red is for low fan, orange black's pump. So you have that. What comes with that is this here. Some nice wire nuts, a couple of long screws, or bolts I should say, a little adjusting screwdriver thing right there for the thermostat, and I think a couple of these little plastic covers here to cover up the holes. Now tool wise, what you need to provide yourself is probably, I don't know, a small tipped standard screwdriver, slotted. More than likely a number 2 tipped Phillips screwdriver. And I got these here just in case, some wiring pliers, just in case you need to cut any wires or crimp, not crimp, but spin the wires, tighten them. You can put them in there and tighten them. And what's going to be most important right now is this continuity checker to see if I can find the power on the circuit. Also, what comes with this is an instruction booklet, but I'm not going to read it to you. And what you might need too, besides the provided nuts, is maybe a couple of extra nuts to go along the side. So, I'm going to start at the switch panel and see if it's hot at all, knowing that the thermostat's turned off. So let's go over to the switch panel. So, I've already taken out most of the screws. I got one left there. And I think I'm down to finger tightening. So got that off. And now we'll take a look and see what's behind the panel. Let's see here. Don't want to shock anything, so it looks like the wires are there. And alright, so we open that up. Ooh, look at that. There's a little piece of paper in here. Careful, make sure it's not a trap. And alright, what do we got here? Secret note. So this part here, it says a wiring diagram. So it shows down here what all the parts of the switch goes to. This is handy. Whoever installed this is a good friend for just making sure they kept this behind it. But, oh, there's a note in the back. It says, "Eat at Joe's." I don't know where Joe's is at. But, so we have this panel here. We have the instructions. And so, for looking at this, we got this L2 down here has a hot black coming into it. Right there, hot black coming into that one. And then it looks like the rest of it goes off to different things. So, number 2 looks like it goes to the pump and the motor. And then from the pump it goes to a neutral, from the motor goes to a neutral, and the neutral comes back out this way. C shows nothing. Switch for single speed. Alright, here we go. Switch for 2-speed evaporative coolers. So L1 at the top is hot. And then there's 3 over in the row here, 1, 2, and C. And so 1 is for low, 2 is for the pump, and C is for high. Got it. This is handy. Now I'll simply just kind of peer into the back here and go, okay, I see there's a wire down by itself that's black. So I will try out this continuity checker here and see if we got any power on that one. Find my negative and stick it somewhere on a grounding spot right back in there, and something right here on this black one here. Nothing. Okay, I'm going to leave this here and go turn on the thermostat and see if it kicks on something. Alright, thermostat's on. So now we'll try it again here. Little continuity checker, we'll put this one here back in here on this said ground. Get back there. And this one here, we'll tap over here. Whoa. Yes. See that? Lights up. That means that this circuit is now hot. So, this also has most of the wiring gone from here to afar. So let's see. I believe the thermostat is going to be installed down here. But let me go check the other part where the thermostat comes out from the wall and see what that's about. Alright, now unlike that switch down the wall, which I believe is controlled by this here should be live. So, some caution. These things here normally come off. Let me just slide them off. And, you know, that's how this is. There's a little, these older type have a little bimetal thing right behind here that, you know, does a temperature-ish. And that's not really even hooked up to the machine at all. Now that we got that off, this right here takes your Phillips. Number 2. So, let me get that worked on here. One below and one on top. And if you're not used to work on live circuits, be very cautious. Right, all it takes is one wire to give you a little shock, depending on what's wired behind this panel. And you know, it's not the safest thing, but I do have some precautions here, and I have life insurance paid up, so all is good. And with these screws taken out, we're ready to get behind there. Alright, so behind this thing, looks like there's just 2 wires. No, there's a plethora of wires. Let's see here. Let me get this bottom screw a little more. There we go, defeated. Now notice how I'm grabbing on the plastic part. So inside here, like I said, we've got a plethora of wires. We have these heavy duty black and red. And like you see here, this red goes into here and changes to a black. This one here comes out like so, and there's this one here. Now this is weird. What we have here, folks, is more than likely this red goes to this black, and this black goes down and works the switch, or in effect it doesn't work anything, it just turns something on. This one here, which has 2 wires coming in, has a third wire that comes off to this nut here. This nut here goes to the thermostat, which this connection is not really needed because you could have had this wire into here instead. Now remember, this could be hot. So I'm just touching the plastic and it's off like that. Next, what we'll do is get the continuity checker again and find a ground. Make sure I got my plus and minuses right. Grounds are in the back here again. Put it on there. And just kind of give it a little tap here. Yep, that's hot. So, chances are now, if I undid this one, all you electricians out there probably know what's going to happen. This right here, let's see, up here, to the ground, this here the wire, that's not hot. Right? And just grabbed the wrong part of that, but let's see here. Ground to the red wire, not hot. Now if I trip this here, the thermostat turned on, this red will be hot again. So, in theory, this black should be the one that's going down and controlling that switch. Right. So what we're going to do now is kill the power to this beast. Alright. Never underestimate the power of a well-maintained and labeled breaker box. So, this right here had a thing down there with the breaker box that said power to the cooler. Alright, so I turned it off. So now we put the negative continuity on the ground, and we will stick it on this one here, and nothing. Check this one here, nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Everything's dead here. So, what we'll end up doing is, we don't need both. We don't need that switch down there. We don't need this thermostat here because we have that both in the control unit, the new one. So this wire here, which I believe heads down to where the switch was at, I'm going to just tie into here. You notice I've taken this nut off with the little bitty helper wire here. It used to be connected to that one. and this went to the thermostat. So this is gone. Thermostat's going to go. This wire is going to get tied in with these, so it makes the power hot down there. A little backwards craziness going on here. And yes, there's a good chance that, you know, having your thermostat located in a bigger room will make it run better. But even in the packaging that came with the thermostat, it says it's kind of just for reference only, the numbers are. So basically you just have it where you have it at a comfort level, you find out what number it is, right on the wall somewhere, and everybody know that when you want the house at a certain temperature down the hallway, where, you know, confined airspace, then you know to have that thermostat set at a certain temperature. So, hope that's straight and narrow, and what we'll do now is we'll head back down to the switch area. Right, here we are. Now we're at the switch area here, and now once again, use the continuity checker to make sure everything is deadened down here. So, in here with the ground, and tap some of these wires. Nope. Nope. Bzz. Nope. And this guy here better not be. Nope. Alright, so everything's dead there. So now we can toss the continuity checker away because we don't need that anymore. And we will switch to our bare hands. Give this thing a little pull. The one that's stuck on the most right now is the ground. Let's see, this one will come off. Ow! Yeah, that comes off. So you have a nut here that holds this panel on. We'll go ahead and take that off. Alright, pull the panel off, and look, we got to the switch now. And this right here is actually the ground. Take that off, and give this a pull. It's a little tight. Now, the main thing here is remembering what was what. And we have our secret note saved here by the ancients to know that this here was a two-speeder, right? So the bottom one, which is off by itself, that is your hot coming in. So that is the hot from down the way from the thermostat, and we checked it, make sure it's dead. This must be old because they're all slotted, but you know what? That's fine. So let's take that one off here and give it a little wiggle. There. Now this here's hot. Not now, but it will be when we connect that wire, and you know the story. Then we have, what's next? So, on our bag of tricks here, well, number 2, the one in the middle here. See, if you look around here that I'm seeing, you can see there you got one in the middle, you got one on the left, one on the right. So one in the middle there is the pump control. That's important, because it's looking white here, but that should head back to the cooler and run the pump. So what we're going to do is hook this to the new orange and I think black it was on the new thermostat system. Take that out and give it a little twisty. Maybe unscrew it some more. Granted, when you're working on thermostats, stuff like that, yep, whoops, and it's hot outside, or hot inside, the winter is the best time to do it, but no, I was told to do it here in the summertime, so here we are. Alright, retrieve said screw. There's like a volt back in there, which is good, because this new unit has quite the back to it, just to go in there. So, now then, we're left to the sides. And the main way to figure this out is you got your little schematic, luckily. And if you hold it like so, you know, you have your hot down here. And then up here you have your hot here. And right across from that, it says is your low. So that's your low. that means this here's your high. Yeah, that goes to the motor. So I'm going to go ahead and undo the low here. And put this off to the side. And catch your ground. Get off. They did good wire wrapping, that's for sure. Let's see here. There. So, low is off to this side, and the last thing we have is the high, which is still on said switch. Alright, now then, I'm going to run off to the hardware store and look for something that will hopefully adapt this box to the new controller. Because basically you have a double here, and you have a single for the new controller. And so I'll be back. Alright, we're back at this now. We went and got some stuff, figured things out. And what we're going to do now here is continue with this. So we have the wire here goes to the high, part of the cooler. So I'll do that. I already did the rest of them here. And so that's free now. And what we'll do here next is do a little comparison. This is where the pliers come in handy, because you have a curved wire now after undoing those. You can see it's like a little hook to it, but just grab on this and kind of gently bend it back and get it straight again. Now then, you can see there that there is a little bit longer than the ones we have here. You can see it's a little longer. So on all these other ones that we just unfurled, I'm going to cut off probably an eighth of an inch or so, a quarter inch. And yeah. Now, when we go to wrap wires, no problem. Alright, make sure it's straight. Now, who remembers why these things go to anything? Well, luckily I slightly do. So, if you're not good at remembering things, you might want to, what do you want to do with this? You might want to mark them ahead of time. So, I got black wire from this new thermostat is going to the hot, which we had over here. I kind of get them together and give them a little twist. And this right here is also a good spot to bring in the death grips. It has a little bit of a coating on it, makes it a little bit harder to twist. But you want these things tight. Like so. And then nut them up. Alright, this is some good wire nuts here, like the bite in there. And tighten them down pretty good too. So, we get that on, give it a little tug, both sides should stand there. And then of course when I put this back in the box, I'll put it so the cap is pointing up. Now let me wire the rest of this up and we'll get back. Alright, so here we go. We got them all wired up, including the common wire, which has that red cap to it. There was common wire ran back there. And so that there is done. And, hope it's all correct. So, what we'll do now is we'll shove the wires back in the box there and make it finished. Now, this used to have, a spot for two things. So what we're going to do here is just kind of do a little wire management. Start with the white one, a little twist, stick it in there, power, twist it in there, high. Making sure these caps are on tight and don't come loose. Some people actually like to put a little tape on them, or a lot of tape. And pump. There, that's all nicely shoved in there. Now let's just have a little back to it, so we'll kind of move stuff over to the side. And there. Curl it around. And there. Just like that almost. Also, keep in mind that when you put screws through here, you don't want your screws hitting your items either. Now, with this on, we open up the door, and up here, we put this screw all the way through to the back holder. All right. Get some of this action going here. Then we got the bottom screw. This here goes in here and goes all the way back to its screw hole. Alright, give it a little turn, lock it in, and then tighten it on down without cross-threading. Okay, then what I like to do is, now that's started, just like to kind of push it back to where it's going to be and tighten away. Alrighty. Nice and snug. And down here too. Then what we'll do is, let's see here. Make sure it's shoved over straight. There. There, perfect, right? No. Much better this way. Okay. Then what we have also is, we've got these two little plugs here for the screws. Right, nothing too good for this. Cover up this like so. And the bottom one too. There. Now then, that is basically done. But what we have to help fix this is a little side panel, which, yes, we could have put this on first and put this over it, but what we're really going to do is take some measurements here, and do some cutting of this. So this will butt right up against it and should set flush behind it. There's other things you can do. There's some adapters you can get to put over this 2x2 area to make just one whole place, but that would take a lot more to it, and then it's also a pain to get stuff back out of it. So this here will be fine. Now we'll go to the other spot. Down here, this should be pretty simple. We just have this hot. Actually, no, this is the hot ones here. There's two more together. So this circuit feeds something else. It comes from somewhere and can go somewhere else. And then this right here, this goes down to that switch. At least that's what we're banking on. So, to remedy this here, we just need our little pliers maybe. You know, and you just kind of curl in one more wire to this 3, or this 2, make a 3 somewhere. And make it nice and tight. There, so that's pretty tight. There's a little bit of a tip top to it, so we'll get the cutting part off and knock that off. There. And of course, put back on the wire nut. Cinch that down nice and tight. And back in the wall with you. Now, this here is not going to be used again, really. And so what we have for here is going to be another panel. So I just put this on like this and be done with it until we go to paint. If it needs to be painted in here, then someone will probably just take this off, to paint. But yeah, so put this on here, a couple screws, be done with it. And on the inside, I'll write a secret note saying something about this goes to the cooler, upstairs or wherever. So I'm not too sure where these extra wires go, but get some kind of hint to the next person that tears into this. Alright, so now we're ready to flip on the breaker. Alright, so I made this little thing here. Just took a panel, measured it, cut it down, gave it a little sand off, and mounted that so you can keep people out of the wires. And eventually, maybe, depending on what the needs are, I might change it to a white color too to match this. This is like a little off-white. But anyways, when we first hit this thing up, you get the power going, you can see there's a readout up in here. It says 76, well, that's the temperature now. But that's actually blinking. So if your power ever goes out, that's blinking. And usually it resets itself to 77 degrees. So we have that on. Open it up. Fan only, fan pump. We'll do fan pump. And system off. We'll do fan low. So nothing's happening. Fan high. Nothing's happening. Back to fan low. So what this is saying is basically it's 76. You push this, that's saying 77. Now we're at 75. You push the buttons up here to change the temperature you want, and it's flashing. That means you're setting in the temperature you want to keep it at, and this little green light's on. That means the pump should be running. So what this does is normally it runs for, I think it's about 5 minutes or so. And then afterwards, I think it stays on constant green, and it should be blowing air at a low fan speed. So I'm going to go check out the cooler and make sure it's pumping water and stuff. I'll be back. Alright, went down there, heard the water running, so the fan pump works. And it sounds like it's on low, so let me switch to high. See what it does. That sounds like low. Let me switch it back to fan low. Yes, okay, so I'll have to undo this and swap the high and low wires. Quite possibly the ones that were marked in that switch deal, this guy was incorrect. So I just swap them around. Either that or it's not correct down in the wiring for the cooler. But this is the best way to change it out. That's definitely low. System off. Time to rewire. Alright, this is off because there's no display here. I did turn the breaker off. Make it like a little screwdriver or something. And get in here to get that thing out with. Let's see here. Alright, well, I'm going to befuddle with this here real quick. And get to the wiring part here. So yellow, black, fan high, red, fan low. Good chance if you go back over the video, you might see that I said something different. But who cares? We'll remedy it now. Everything's off. Undo one nut, undo the other nut. Undo red wire from that side and bring it on over here. Undo yellow, black from that side, put over there. Slap these two back together. Not you, yellow. And get them all tight and nut them. Down tight. Give them a nice pull. Okay, you're good to go. Get back in there. yellow black on this black wire here. Tight twister. Get the nut ready. Tighten it down. A few twists. Sometimes when you twist, you want to make sure you get it going in the right direction too. Tight. Put it in there. Push all back. Get the bolts here, and make sure I don't pinch any wires. Fed through. And let's see here. All right, get started there. Get the bottom one going. All right. Let's push back here. And tighten it down. Okay, so, some people make, blooper tapes, blooper reels, whatever. I don't have that. I just kind of film them and keep going with what I have. So maybe this is one of them. Who knows? Snug this thing down, work on the top part. Snug it down, and right, snug and snug. Okay, I'll put the plugs back in and go turn the power back on and see what happens. Alright, there should be able to see the flashing numbers. Right, maybe too close. That means that the power's back on for one. And right. Fan low again. That's saying 81 degrees in here. This is set 77. That's fine. Now it's doing the pre-wetting of the evaporation pads. That says it goes about 5 minutes or so. Go ahead and put this back in there, and one on top. And not to waste film here, let's just pause it until it starts up again. Alright, so we're back. It's on. Let me switch it to fan high and see if it changes. Yes. So, this here's done now. I'll leave it on fan low just for a little energy conservation. And, yeah, this here, the cooler controller. Done job. So, odd job doer. Thanks for watching. Now that people can keep cool, hopefully. And if you have any questions or answers, go ahead and leave them down below. If you have anything you'd like to see me try to do or attempt to do, any kind of projects or odd jobs, let them be known too. And, thanks for watching.